Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So in today's video we're going to go over some accessories you can use to keep your GoPro afloat. These accessories can be important if you're going to be filming in and around water. After all, something like a GoPro is heavy, so if you drop it in water it's going to sink down to the bottom. So using an accessory like this can help prevent you losing your GoPro accidentally. Some of these floating accessories are used when you're using your GoPro handheld, but some of them, like this one here, is used when you're going to be mounting it on something like a boat, a kayak, or a canoe. In addition to that, all the accessories I'm going to be showing you here are fully compatible with the GoPro Max and other similar action cameras. So let's start with the most common one here, and this is an accessory I always recommend to new GoPro users. This is always something you should carry in your bag. Not only is it a floating hand grip, it's also just a nice grip, so you can use it for other applications as well. Even if you're at an amusement park and you want to go on a roller coaster, just due to the fact that it has a wrist strap, so you don't have to worry about dropping your GoPro accidentally. It's got a foam grip on it so it's not slippery when it's wet, and it's got a nice bright end on it so when it is in the water, you'll be able to see it easily. Now this one uses a buckle mount, so you will need to attach a buckle mount to it. Here we have our GoPro Hero 11 Black attached to it. So this is a great accessory, a great handle if you're going to be filming in and around water, a day at the beach. This will keep your GoPro floating if you happen to drop it in water. Now this next floating accessory is also a floating hand grip. This is by a company called New Bear. And although it's very similar to the GoPro, the official GoPro floating hand grip, this one does have a few extra features. First of all, it's also an extension pole, so if you do need a little bit of an extension, you can do so. And it's also a tripod, so you can set your GoPro down if needed. It's very similar to the GoPro Max grip, except this one will float if you happen to drop your GoPro in the water. Up at the top here, there is a spot you can add a wrist strap or a lanyard if you do so wish to. And again, at the bottom, it has a nice bright base, so if you do happen to drop it in the water, you will be able to see it quite easily. It works really well, and I've actually used it quite a bit. Now, this next item here is an official GoPro accessory again, and GoPro has sold these for other generations as well. Basically, this is a housing or a cage or a frame for your GoPro that the GoPro fits right inside. You might have your GoPro mounted on something like a surfboard, a boat, a kayak. I actually use this quite a bit. I do have an RC boat that I like to put my GoPro on, and the GoPro is just mounted on there with a sticky mount, and I have had them come loose in the past. So this just gives me a little peace of mind if I'm out zipping around on my boat. Especially if the boat flips over, there's a lot of forces put on that GoPro. This will keep the GoPro floating so I'm able to retrieve it. With this particular one, you put the GoPro in backwards. You just have to wiggle it in there, just like that. You still have access to the power button at the side, the record button at the top, finger mounts at the bottom, and of course you can still use the touch screen at the back. There is a spot on this one as well to connect a lanyard if you so wish. So a pretty handy floating accessory if you're going to be using your GoPro in and around water. Now this next mount here is kind of unique. This one here is called the Bodhi Floaty. This company has made other floating mounts in the past, one similar to this here. And this one is unique in the fact that it actually is a suction cup. You can see we have some suction cups at the bottom here. So a mount like this is perfect for sticking to a boat, anything with a flat, smooth surface. If those suction cups happen to let go, the whole unit will float in the water. As you can see here, the suction cups are bright orange, so again making it very visible, allowing you to see it in the water and retrieve it. There is a spot here where you can hook a tether. So if you want to tether it to your boat or canoe, you're able to do so. A floating mount like this is great if you want to be able to move your GoPro from location to location. You don't want to put any type of permanent mount. You can just use this suction cup and still not have to worry too much about if it happens to fall in water. Now this next floating mount here is probably one of my favorite. I've actually used it quite a bit. You can see this is designed to float in the water. Basically it is a floating tripod. You can mount your GoPro or your GoPro Max and get some really interesting water shots. Perhaps you're fishing or you want to film yourself doing some water activities. You can mount your GoPro and then put this in the water. You can hook a long tether to it so you can pull it back in when needed. And this mount is actually much more usable nowadays than it was when I first reviewed it. When I first reviewed this, I didn't give it a great review. I didn't find it all that useful because back when we had the Hero 5 and 6, the stabilization on those cameras were not very good at all. So unless the water was absolutely calm, the footage that it captured was almost unusable. It was all over the place. But with today's GoPros and horizon lock and the stabilization, you don't even notice that anymore. The water can be moving around quite a bit and you'll still get nice usable footage. Now the only problem with this mount here, it's not very readily available anymore. You can find it from time to time in some online retailers. which is a real shame. I think it's a great mount and a great idea, especially now, like I said, that cameras have really good stabilization. I wonder if that's why they discontinued it, because people just weren't happy with it, but it works great now. So hopefully that's something that maybe they will bring back. So yeah, folks, just a quick video going over some ways to keep your GoPro floating if you're going to be filming in and around water. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It's always greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.